Hey everybody, it's Dowden, and in this 2-minute tutorial, we're going to be looking at how we can add a dry, wet knob to almost anything inside of Ableton Live 10. So instead of some of the effects that we don't actually have a dry, wet knob, and one example of this is the auto filter. So I'm going to drag an auto filter onto this sound that I have here. And there's no actual dry wet knob. So if you want to only introduce a little bit of this filter, maybe you want to do like a bandpass sweep for some really cool resonant sound, you don't have that dry wet knob capability. First, I'm going to just automate the frequency of this, just like that. So we wanted to introduce just a little bit of that. We didn't want the full filter effect. What we could do is group this together by pressing Command or Control G. We made an audio effects rack. We go into the chains and we can duplicate this. And then we're going to name the first one dry, and the second one we're going to name wet. I'm going to delete the auto filter out of the first channel instead of the dry, and I'm going to keep it inside of the wet channel. And next what I'm going to do is click on this chain select editor. So it's going to open up this chain area. So it has these 2 chain zones, one for each chain, and then it has this chain select ruler. And now we're going to pull both of these chains all the way to the right. So all the way to 127, and then I'm going to fade out. This little white bar up here is the fade in. So I'm going to fade out the dry and fade in the wet. So what's going to happen is as this chain selector is moving through, it's going to go from the complete dry chain signal to the right side, which is the wet signal. So now we have 100% wet signal on the right. So we move this back and forth. We're selecting in between the dry and the wet signal, essentially creating a dry wet knob. But we don't have the knob yet. So what we can do is just right click and map this chain select ruler to macro 1. So I'm going to rename this to dry wet knob, and I'm going to color it blue. And now when I increase or decrease this amount, it's going to go in between the wet and dry signal in our chains. Alternatively, if something doesn't have a dry or wet knob, sometimes you can just use sends and returns. And if you don't know what send and return tracks are, you can check the description for a video where I do cover sends and returns in a 2-minute tutorial. Always be checking for phase cancellation when using things like this for your dry wet knobs, because sometimes it could cause issues in the mix. Just make sure they're always checking for that. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And if you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up.